Hip-hop since 1987.com.
Guys can really shoot the basketball. So where they are on our roster as young guys that we think they can get better through development. We're very fortunate here to have a coaching staff that has a proven track record of being able to develop young players. So anytime we can get our hands on a young guy we think they can get better, we're going to look to do that. And with both of those guys, we felt the way.
Travis, Paul Newberry from Associated Press. You said when you took this job, you thought this team could still contend for a playoff berth even if you were going through some pretty dramatic changes. Obviously, from the outside, looking in, some of the moves you made, it looks more like kind of a total rebuild that's going to be a painful few years. Can you just address where how long this might take, and is that a fair assessment, or do you still think this team can legitimately contend for postseason?
The one thing I would say about this group is these are scrappy guys, right? These are competitive guys. These are prideful guys. Now we're going to be young, and historically, teams that are young, take it on the chin a little bit. But like I said, what we're looking for is to see that growth not only from individual players, but as a collective unit from the start of the season to the end of the season. I think that we're going to show up every single night, and we're going to play hard, and we're going to play together, and we're going to play the right way, and we're going to be able to live with the results.
Danny Richardson, Deadpan Sports. Mr. Schlenk, Dennis Schroeder is your new starting point guard this year. Is there anything this season that you would like to see? Any particular growth from him, or anything that you'd like to see from him on the court?
I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with Dennis this summer. As you guys know, he played in Eurobasket with the German national team. He played very well over there. We're very excited for the way he played this summer. Anytime you have an opportunity as a young player to compete in international competition, we feel like it's a good thing. Dennis, from everything I've been told about the young man, has made a lot of strides, not only on the court in his first 4 years in the NBA, but also as a person. When you think about it, he comes over here as a foreigner. He's coming to a new culture, a new city, and it takes some time for young kids to adjust. But again, this is just what I've been told by everyone here, is that he's shown a ton of growth already, and we have no reason to believe that he won't continue to have that growth on and off the court.
Terrell Thomas, Hip-hop since 1987 again. Although you have a fairly young team coming into the 2017-18 season, there still are some veterans in the Hawks locker room, as the gentleman mentioned, with Dennis, Kent Bazemore, and Mike Muscala. What are the expectations as far as those three, as far as helping the other new cats and younger cats develop?
Yeah, no question. When you have a young team, it's very important to have quality vets in the locker room to help show those guys the right way to go. So when you look at all the guys that we added veteran-wise or brought back, in the cases you pointed out, veteran-wise, they're great guys, character guys, high character guys. That's one of the things I've said from day one we're going to focus on is high character guys. They're going to work hard every day. So we want to have a good locker room so our young guys that see vets doing it the right way.
You mentioned earlier that your two goals were to make a younger roster and to be flexible. Are there any other goals that can coexist with those two?
Yeah, obviously we're going to continue to look to accumulate assets, and that's where the flexibility comes in. Again, it's just development. Now that we have a young core, we have 9 draft picks in the next 2 years, so there's a high probability that we're going to be even a little bit younger next year. So we need to keep developing the young players that we have.
You spent some time with the Golden State Warriors. Are there any philosophies or any experiences that you bring over to the Hawks?
No question. When we were in Golden State, one of the first things that we did is we looked to bring in high character guys. That's one of the things that we're doing here. We look to bring in high skill guys. When you look at some of the guys we've added, as was mentioned earlier, with Cook and Brasino, maybe not big moves, but those are guys that can make shots. Tyler Dorsey, the guy we drafted in the second round, 40+% three-point shooter in college for his 2 years at Oregon. So those are the things we look to do at Golden State too. So I bring a lot of those things: athleticism, length, multidimensional, and then obviously, as I've stated several times already, the high character.
Continuing on that idea of Golden State traditions, one that I've seen written about was that you were part of a group that collectively made group decisions with you, Bob Meyer, Larry Riley, Rick Blanco. Is that a tradition that you're going to carry on here, and if so, who's in the group?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate. When I got here, there was a great staff already in place. You know, those guys are still with us, and going through the draft process with them, you know, their organization, it was really, really, really strong. Going through free agency, we were extremely prepared for free agency. That group is Jeff Peterson, who is our assistant general manager. He does a great job for us. John Treloar, our director of player personnel. Obviously, Coach Budenholzer, Mike McNeeve, our director of basketball operations. You know, those are kind of our senior management group. And then we have younger guys that are also involved in the process.
Terrell Thomas again. The NBA is considering possibly revamping how they do the draft, how you receive your draft lottery balls and things of that nature. How will that affect the Hawks in the future as we look to, you know, pick up draft picks and assets?
Well, it's actually going to be voted on next week, so I don't know if the reform is going to go through with the lottery protection. But essentially, what it would do, it was in an attempt to prevent teams from intentionally losing. I don't really know if it's going to go through or not, so I wouldn't want to speculate on what it would make teams do or not do.
So I kind of saw an interesting thing about you. Where back in Golden State, you called yourself kind of the pessimist of that decision-making group. What exactly do you mean by that? Now that you're kind of the head guy, how does maybe the, you know, not being the guy who's afraid to say no kind of help this team?
Yeah, I guess I was kind of the no guy there. Here, I'm a little more upbeat, I suppose. You know, by changing the position, I think every organization needs somebody that's not afraid to say no. Obviously, when you sit in the chair that I sat, you know, you have the final say, so there are times you're going to have to say no. But it's important to have a group, like we talked about just a second ago. You know, we have a group, and it's important that you get everyone's opinions and their different opinions. You don't want a group of people that all are going to give you the same line, you know, unless it's the right decision. But it's important to have different voices in the room.
A couple of questions. All coaches, of course, love to have a superstar, all-star roster. How has
GMs would do as well.
Just for the record, right? How has Coach Bud accepted this sort of obviously transitional period for the team, and knowing that his wins are probably maybe not going to be as plentiful as they were the last 3 years? And also on that, you mentioned the draft. I don't know how to delicately phrase this. Would it be better for this team not to be in the playoffs the next couple of years because of the draft lottery?
Well, Coach Bud, we'll start with obviously, you know, when I first got here, we spent a ton of time together, getting to know each other, getting to know each other's philosophies. He's completely on board with, you know, what our plan was this summer. He's excited about the upcoming season. As I mentioned, he and his staff have proven that the one thing that they've done very well since he's been here is develop young talent. And so they're excited about this venture that we have, where they're going to have a great opportunity to develop a lot of, hopefully, great players that we're going to draft over the next few years. For the second part of your question, listen, you know, we drafted Draymond Green when I was in Golden State at 35. You can get franchise-type players, you know, very solid players all over the draft. So, you know, we're not worried about that at all. Like I said, it's never negative for a team to be in the playoffs.
Do we have any more questions? Thank you, Travis.
Hip Hop's is 1987.com.